Well, there's an area of health and emotional wellness that's become increasingly popular, and that area is life coaching. We've been joined tonight by Christine Matthews, and she's going to tell us about her practice and give us a little bit of information about how life coaching can help us. Christine, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us about your practice?
Yes.
And it's Never Journey Alone, correct?
Yes, it is never journey alone. Life is a journey, but you never journey alone. And it's about, I mainly work with individuals who are going through stressful times. You know, this world is very stressful right now. I work with individuals who are going through stress, and before it gets to the stages of chronic stress and leading into illnesses. I'm a firm believer that, positive thinking, can definitely heal our body. So I really work with clients on changing their thinking process and taking control of their stress.
Now, what is your background in, and what is making it so that you're interested in doing this?
My background is in social work. I've been in social work for about 9.5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked in various populations, drug and alcohol, psychiatric hospitals, and so forth. And my background is in mental health. So I come from the aspect of, really working with your mind and changing the way you think.
What prompts people to come to you? You mentioned stress,
Mm-hmm.
and when they come to you, what's the catalyst? At what point in their life do they say, I need help?
They're at a point where they want to change. They're really ready to take back their life and take control and deal with the things that may be holding them back and looking forward positively.
And how do you assess where you should start? Because I'm sure each person's different.
Yes. The person that usually comes to me is someone who probably is stressed out or looking to, make some positive changes in their life. And mainly, I talk to them and find out what it is that they want to work on. Someone who is a life coach is bringing their own agenda. Mm-hmm. You allow the client to lead. So it's pretty much, they know that they have stress, they know that they want to make a change, so they're coming to me, and I pretty much ask them, well, what area of your life are you looking at that you want to change?
What are some of the answers you get, out of curiosity?
Maybe their health, their stress has caused them to get illness, diabetes, their hypertension is acting up, there could be conflict, in their marriage or family, and stress is being a catalyst to that. Yes, definitely, definitely work. Work is definitely that.
This, we were cleaning up at my job, and I saw this really old poster that was hanging in somebody's cubicle, and it's like, the signs and symptoms of stress.
Yeah.
And it was a page long, and just about every single one of those things I had, I'm like, is that why are you kidding? I couldn't believe it.
Yes.
But it does affect your mood. It affects how you feel. One of the things that you mentioned on your website is accountability and making your client accountable. Can you go into that a little bit?
Well, holding your client accountable. This is your life, and you come to me because you want to make changes in your life. So, so there may be times when you may come to me and say, you've been going through, maybe had a rough week, and I may ask you, well, what did you do to make some changes? What are you working on? And just revisit the things that they first came to me with, and holding them accountable to that so that they can move forward.
Do you have like a I don't want to call it homework, but like assignments? You and I meet today. I want you to work on this. Do you have that?
Yes, sometimes the client may come and you may suggest to them that maybe next week you may want to, when you for example, you're faced with a stressful event, maybe take a step back and look and see and ask yourself the question of, is this as bad as it seems? Sometimes we think ourselves into a very stressful state.
That is so true. The other thing that kind of helps me when I let it help me is thinking, okay, if something really, really horrible happened, I know this is just the sickest way to think, but it works for me. If something really bad happened, would what's bothering you right now really matter? You know what I mean? Like, this is the weirdest thing. But I think, like, back to September 11th and how the things of that morning seem so important and so, like, significant. And then by 10 o'clock in the morning, you don't care about those things anymore. And I know that's a very drastic example, but do you find that when people try and put things in perspective that way, that it's helpful to them?
Yes, yes. When you take a step back and you ask yourself the question of, is this as bad as it seems? And most of the time it's not as bad as we've made it up to be in our mind. And if we're able to just analyze it and take the steps back, just stop, relax, and breathe for a moment. And then ask yourself that question, and most of the time, like I just mentioned, it's not as bad. Or maybe you have a friend or a coworker that says, look at it from this perspective. So you're able to look at it from a different view and a different perspective, and then it changes your thinking to, okay, maybe I'm making more out of this than what it is, or maybe I can handle this in a different way instead of working myself up.
One of the things that I've also found is there are certain friends you go to for certain things, and certain friends you go, you have to be careful, because if you're stressed out and you go to that certain friend
That's stressed.
that's just going to elevate it, they just pump it right up because they kind of feed into your,
yes.
And then you have this other friend, or in my case, my sister, who's like, listen, really, this is what you're going to be on edge about? Really?
Yeah.
No, not so much. One of the things that I also was fascinated about is the group coaching. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, group coaching is working with a group of people. You don't really want a big group because you want to be able to allow everyone in the group to have an opportunity to be coached. And you may have a particular topic that you're coaching on, and then you allow each person to, again, they bring their agenda. You have a topic, and they may say, well, today I'm feeling more stressed, my work is stressful for me, and you may go into asking that person particular questions. But you're pretty much on one topic, but you're coaching them in a group instead of individual, one-on-one.
Do you find that they feed off of each other in a positive way?
Yeah, most of the time, because you're giving that person, you're asking them a question, and they are, giving their feedback, and you're asking more questions, and then the other person may say, oh, yeah, I didn't think of it that way.
Right. Now, some of the other things I want to talk about were some of the other services. You have life-enhancing services, wellness fairs, pamper and relaxation services, personal wellness consultation, healthy lifestyle assessment, pampering and relaxation services.
Yes.
Tell me about that one.
That one is a baby of mine, of me and my cousin, Jessica Wilkins. And I went to her and I said, we have to do something. That people are not taking time for themselves. It's actually a service that we encourage people to start engaging in self-care, because it's so important for our mind and our body. And we actually bring the spa to you. We'll come to you, set up in your home or wherever you would like for us to be, and give you that spa retreat and the relaxation of where you are.
The funny thing is when my mom first moved in with me, she noticed that on Sundays, like before this show, I do all these things. I condition my hair and I paint my nails, and I wasn't really aware that I was doing it, but I kind of set that time by myself, and she was the one that drew my attention. She's like, oh, I see that every weekend you give yourself a mask, and I'm like, oh, I guess I do. But it does. It's a nice way to kind of round down the weekend and get ready for,
Yeah, and we need that. We have to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Now, this is a Philadelphia-based practice.
Yes.
Correct? So we have just a couple minutes left. I want to make sure that everyone knows how to get in touch with you. So you want to give out your information?
Sure.
Okay.
You can reach me online at my website is www.njalone.com, and I can be reached at 215-225-7109 is my office number.
Okay.
Yes.
And for the life coaching, is it free? It's not free.
No, it's not free.
It's not free. Okay. Like, it is a business, but that's something that they can talk to you about.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, Christine, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Anything else you wanted to talk about before we wrap it up?
I also do teleclasses, and I have a series of 8 of them right now going on until through December.
What's a teleclass?
A teleclass is where people call into a telebridge, and I have different topics that I talk about. And they're recorded, so if they miss it live, free, then they're welcome to go online and purchase it on CD.
Okay. All right. Well, this sounds very, very interesting. Before we go, I want to give the information one more time. This, once again, is Christine Matthews, and her website is www.njalone.com. That's neverjourneyalone.com. And I'm sure if you Google it, you'll find it. And she can be reached at 215-801-6579 or 215-225-7109. And again, if you have any questions or you can't get in touch with her, you can always contact us and we'll get you in touch with her right away. Please stay tuned. We have much more for you on In the Upper Room Outreach Ministries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shauna, for having me.
You're welcome.